All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I've noticed some interesting. What do we want here? Some interesting. So if I press close, everything's fine, right? You're okay over here, weirdo. Anyways, I've noticed some interesting demographics on my videos talking about how to AFK in classic World of Warcraft while ranking, or just trying to get you guys to rank 13, or rank 12 gear minimum, rank 13 gear minimum. That's the whole goal of this. Is if I'm dealing with someone who can only play for like 4 hours a day on the weekends, how do I get this guy into rank 12 slash rank 13 gear, right? That's basically my goal. And AFKing is going to be probably a sizable proportion of that because it's a way they can play and BGs while being at work and so forth and so on. But I'm looking at the demographics. So we got like 2,100 views on this one. 50% downvote. We've got the one I made recently. It's up to 1,300 views. 30%. No one's going to upvote these videos. Like, let's get that out of the way really fast here. Holy crap. Computer, are you okay? My computer does this sometimes. It like, ooh, yeah, whatever. You're still here. I know you're here. Fuck off. Welcome to China. What was I trying to say here? All right, no one's going to upvote those videos. So I really have to determine whether the videos are liked or not based purely upon the percentage of viewers versus the percentage of downvotes, right? If that makes any sense. And from what I see, people actually kind of like what I'm saying, but a lot of people don't. So this video is for you if you don't. I'm going to go into extreme pedantic detail as to my actual thoughts on AFKing in Battlegrounds. So you'll know, for one thing, you'll notice that I've never talked about how to AFK in Warsaw Gulch. I've never talked about how to AFK in Arathi Basin. The reason for this is because in those battlegrounds, there's no way for you to AFK and still be useful. Like, no way for you to AFK and be useful in those battlegrounds whatsoever. Therefore, I do not consider those battlegrounds to be AFKable, if that makes any sense. If Eye of the Storm was out, you can technically AFK in Eye of the Storm, the same way you can AFK in Alterac Valley and still be useful. I am honor capped for the week, but we're going to jump into Alterac Valley so we can leave absolutely nothing to the imagination on this one. Let's check the honor cap. Yeah, I'm over 500,000 honor. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, the art of AFKing to me is this. There's a proper way to AFK in Alterac Valley specifically, and technically also Eye of the Storm, but there are many ways of doing AFK that are really, really fucking bad and that you should avoid. So rather than making a video just telling you how to AFK properly in Alterac Valley, I'm going to tell you also how not to fucking AFK in Alterac Valley. All right? So we'll start off with the good ways to AFK in Alterac Valley. The best way to AFK in Alterac Valley is for you to actively be defending something. Like I said in the previous video, come out to Snowfall Graveyard and be semi-AFK at Snowfall Graveyard. So, for example, you'll have like your World of Warcraft minimized on your screen. I can't really do it here, can I? I'd have to press like I'd have to window World of Warcraft and then shrink it down. Okay, nothing to the imagination. Options. Actually, I think it's visual, right? Options, log out, macros, display, general, graphics. There we go. Windowed full screen. No, we just want windowed. We're going to press apply. We're going to drag this little piece of shit until it's nice and small in the corner of our screen. All right, bada bing, bada boom. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? Apply. Oh, I gotta press OK to this. Okay. OK to the application. Got it. So you can do something like this, right? Where I can happily watch Asmongold on YouTube, and I can also be in World of Warcraft at the same time. I'm actually doing WASD over here. Let's cancel that really fast. So you can see that I'm now actively playing World of Warcraft, even though it's a single monitor. A lot of people use two monitors, and this makes it a lot easier. But if you're in like a work environment or something like that, you can still be in Alterac Valley doing something useful while at the same time doing your job technically. And this is where the AFK strats come into play. Because again, there are useful things that you can do AFK and there are unuseful things that you can do AFK. In Alterac Valley, all I have to do is just run into like Iceblood Tower or Tower Point, and then I can AFK. I call it's semi-AFK, right? Semi-AFK means that you're technically you have your eyes on the game, so if anything happens, you can jump in really fast and start fighting, healing, doing whatever the hell you need. But you're also still technically AFK. So you'll go to Tower Point, you'll go to Iceblood Graveyard, you'll go to SF Graveyard, which is where I'm trying to go right now. And then I will just semi-AFK out there, and if someone shows up to try to fight me over SF Graveyard, I'll suddenly click this button right here, make it nice full screen, and away we go, right? Okay, let's get to SF Graveyard. This, to me, is the first way to properly AFK in Alterac Valley specifically. There are no other BGs where you can actually semi-AFK and still be useful in the fucking battleground, and therefore I do not advocate for AFKing in those BGs, period. You can do the same thing in Eye of the Storm by basically just defending a tower, but you still want to have like this like incredibly minimized screen down at the bottom, right? Like we can have Asmongold rolling.
I said this in the beginning.
Oh
Everybody's getting mad at me for saying this, but like it's a fucking fact.
Got him rolling,
yeah,
got watching him,
say.
one
that's
screen strategy,
no,
blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Alright, so now I'm just going to semi-AFK here. Okay, and I can do my job, I can work, I can blah, 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 blah. No one's going to report me, I'm technically playing the game, I'm technically doing something useful, everyone's going to be super happy with me defending SF Graveyard, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's the first proper way to AFK. And you can do that in any tower, you can do that defending almost any graveyard except for the two in the back. So you could you can't really defend Iceblood Graveyard this way. It doesn't really work that well. Blah, 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 blah. I actually want it to be full screened temporarily here. I'm going to go back to my normal screen because I don't like not playing full screen. Shows you how much I AFK. I don't AFK a lot. I spend maybe 10% of my time AFK in Classic World of Warcraft. But when you're ranking to 14, learning how to AFK is a big fucking deal. But again, the goal is to AFK and still be useful. Graphics, windowed, full screen, apply, okay, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Alright, cool. Alright. We're still in Drek or Keck mode, so the game's going to end very shortly. Let's talk about how not to AFK, okay? So, these guys in these towers here are technically doing something wrong. If this was a normal Alterac Valley, they are doing something incorrect. If I press Shift M, it'll... Yeah. I guess that's not helpful for this video. People who guard Van are AFKing correctly. This fucker right here, I'm reporting him AFK. This is a very popular AFK spot. Very, very bad. Always report people who are here. Now, what people are doing when they're AFKing in the towers, or they're AFKing in Van, or they're AFKing back here. Let me see if I can port back and show you guys specifically. They'll be in like this little building, like right here. And they'll just go invisible and they'll be AFK'd. The reason why these people are assholes is because they're choosing AFK spots where they're not doing anything to help win or lose, to win the game. Or to win, I'd say to win or lose the game. And they're not... They've specifically chosen that AFK spot so they can try to milk as many HK, as much HK honor as possible. Okay. All right. No, I don't want to leave the battleground. I want to show this really fast. This fucking guy is here so that if anyone dies on this road in a wide area of him, he can get HK honor. That's why the fuck he's AFKing there. The other AFK spot is right here in the base, and it's also these towers, and it's also by Van, and it's also kind of by the Druids up north here a little bit. There are AFK spots where people are doing absolutely nothing to be useful to the game whatsoever. They're potentially AFKing there to try to look like they're being useful, like by the towers, and they're literally just there to steal the fucking honor from the people who are actually playing the fucking game. I hate these motherfuckers, and I always report them when they're there. Which is why, this is the reason I'm making videos to teach you fuckers how to properly AFK. Because there's a proper way to AFK in Alterac Valley, and there's an improper way to AFK in Alterac Valley. You'll notice, in the AV weekend, I suggested that you go north here of Iron Deep Mine, right? and then you AFK here. And I said, okay, it's going to look like you're trying to get the mine. Okay, so that's important, so you're not getting AFK spammed. But more importantly, and I didn't really mention this, you're so out of the way when you're AFKing, like up north here, that you're not stealing anyone's HK honor. And that's a really fucking big deal. You want to AFK in a spot. See, this fucking guy is still here. This fucking guy is still here. All right, Stay Goonin is still fucking here. And he's in one of the magical spots that I always report people for being in, because this is, I'm going to steal people's HKs, and I'm going to AFK in Alterac Valley all at the same time. Yeah. So if you're going to truly AFK in Alterac Valley, you need to do it somewhere where you're not going to accidentally steal HK farms. So that would be like over here by the cave. That would be above here in Iron Deep Mine. If you were on the Horde side, it would be different, you know, blah, 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 blah. So again, these videos aren't, I don't know, maybe I didn't make that clear in the previous videos about the whole AFK thing. But that is the goal of AFKing. It is to be useful to the game while being semi-AFK and not stealing anyone's fucking honor farms. You'll notice that when we're AFK at SF Graveyard, we're both defending SF Graveyard because we're technically semi-AFK, and we are not stealing anyone's HKs. When we're in Tower Point, or we're in Iceblood Graveyard AFKing, or we're in North or East Frostwolf Tower AFKing, we might get some honor kills, but as long as we're only semi-AFK, like I showed you, make the screen minimized, you know, blah, 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 use a second monitor, yada, yada, yada. You're still technically being useful to the game. I am super happy to have you in the BG, right? It's like, I don't give a shit if all you're doing is standing by SF Graveyard, making sure it caps. I'm super, and you're semi-AFK the entire time. I'm super fucking happy to have you there because it means the games are going to be shorter. All we care about honor-wise in Alterac Valley is to kill all the LTs, burn all the towers, and to win or lose the game as quickly as possible after that. So if you're semi-AFK in some way that's helping facilitate that end game, super happy about you. But if you're AFKing in a manner where you're not only doing fucking nothing, but you're stealing my fucking hard-earned HKs while I'm fighting my ass off, fuck you. Right? Okay, cool. Anyways, all in the video there. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's the whole reason why I wanted to make these videos, is there's good ways to AFK and there's bad ways to AFK. And I'm not talking from a not getting banned versus getting banned sense, even though that's definitely a consideration. I'm talking more from a, are you fucking being useful, or are you being an honor-stealing cocksuck fuck, right? Anyways, hopefully that makes sense. I'll end the video here, Deus Vault. I'll reiterate, there's no good way to AFK in Arathi Basin. You can kind of semi-AFK, but not really. And there's 100% no good way to AFK in Warsong Gulch. Any AFKers in Warsong Gulch just need to be reported and banned. Any AFKers in, there's a time and a place to AFK in Warsong Gulch, and that's only because the Horde are, like, honor farming you at your fucking graveyard. You're just like, okay, I'm done with this. Just end the fucking game as quickly as possible. That's the only real acceptable time to AFK in Warsong Gulch. Yeah, anyways, on the video here, Deus Vault.